Welcome to Hockey Nights in Vegas. My name is Eddie Rivkin. I'm joined by the General Manager of Hockey Canada, Sarina Taylor.
Jesus Christ.
This episode, like all the others, is brought to you by my very good friend, Dr. John Pierce at Ageless Forever. We are at Outbox Media in the Medical District in Las Vegas. If you know where that is, it doesn't matter because you can't get in here. But if you want to record your podcast and you want your podcast to look as great as our podcast looks, email my friend Mateus. Contact at outboxmedia.com, and he's going to take care of you. Want to hear a joke?
Yes.
The New York Rangers.
Everything that I've been saying for the last few years is finally coming to fruition. I'm like, the Rangers are never going to win a fucking thing with that lineup. Their lineup has changed. It's gotten even worse.
You mean you're not down for their captain, JT Miller?
You're not even down for their captain, JT Miller.
No, but did you see him get run over by his own guy?
Yes.
That was exciting.
Yeah. Man, that guy, Matt, he just really has a lot of haters out there. I mean, there's a lot of...
He seems to just be a dick.
Yeah, well, that's...
I mean, I don't know. I've never spoke to the guy, but...
I mean...
Everything you read, if the whole choir is singing one song, you're usually singing the right song.
Yeah. I mean... That's what I always find interesting about this time of year, this situation, like with the Olympics, for example. There's a lot of, obviously, Americans that are like not obsessed with the fact that JT Miller is on the team. And it's always interesting.
That's ridiculous to me. How is the leading American point getter in the NHL, Jason Robertson of Dallas, not on the Olympic team?
I feel like it's one thing if there's better. Like if you're going to argue like, well, JT Miller is really good, but he's not.
Well, I was going to say, wait a second. Are you going to try to make that argument?
No. This is what I'm saying. Like if it's like
there's going to be a
situation where it's like, what? Like, okay, so you look at Canada and it's like, should Sam Bennett be on the team? I think probably, but I trust Doug Armstrong.
Looks like Sam Bennett's going to be on the team, though.
Right, but original picks, right? So I trust Doug Armstrong with everything in my being. If he's going to pick a guy, there's a reason he picks guys, a reason he doesn't. But I feel like, and everybody's kind of like, I wish this person there. Everyone makes an argument for their favorite player, blah, 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 blah. But I feel like with the U.S., it's like, there's only one person on the planet that thinks JT Miller should be on that team, and he's the one in charge.
JT Miller. Oh, besides
Bill Guerin.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe he's got pictures.
I think there's a lot of that going around.
I don't know. The Rangers are 5-12-4 at home. They've got guys. I mean, are they dealing Panarin, Zibanejad? The pseudo trade deadline is coming up. Then the big one is March 6th or 7th, something like that. They can't stand pat, right? I mean, I feel bad for Mike Sullivan. Mike Sullivan's a good hockey coach. And he basically just said, oh, sure, I'll coach the Rangers, and then he just jumped into a dumpster. Because that's what the team is. All the way up to Mr. Dolan, right? They're just a dumpster fire. But he's getting $4 or $5 million, probably lives in a nice place in Manhattan, so... But, I mean, the Rangers, come on. 2 years ago, they were the President's Trophy winner. Now, I mean, they're not making the playoffs, right? Even in the mushy mush East. Do you think they're getting there?
I don't know. I don't. Not the way things have been going. But you talked about like, are they going to deal? What are they going to do? I feel like they.
I mean, they dumped Trouba and they dumped.
I was just going to say
Keandre Miller.
Like last in the past year or whatever,
year and a half, they dumped off
Fox.
what they thought were the cancers, but the cancer seems to still be there.
Watching Panarin play is almost embarrassing for him because he is such a good hockey player, but there's no excitement, there's no thrill, there's no drive, there's no nothing in his game. And I don't know if it's a product of his environment, but thinking about, we're talking about, Mike Sullivan and coaches nowadays, they don't have control over who wins or who doesn't. Back 20, 30 years ago, they sure did. Now they get what they get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The general manager is in charge. You're just going to fucking deal with it. If you don't like it, well, don't come here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
You look at back in the day when the old coaches used to coach. You didn't fuck around with some of those guys. It's a little different now.
I was going to say, speaking of old school coaches, but I don't want to talk about Dean Evison. I thought he was a jerk off anyways. But fired by Columbus. Bones coming out of retirement for the 74th time, the 74-year-old.
So from what I understand, Rick Bowness had kind of stepped aside because of his wife's health and all that kind of stuff. But I've heard really good things about Rick Bowness as a coach.
And he's the nicest, funniest guy. I remember when he played for the Red Wings 40-some years ago. But we got to talk to him a couple of times when the Peg was here for the playoffs. Just a funny guy, right?
Yeah, he was a great fit in Winnipeg. It'll be interesting to see Columbus because it's a completely different demographic there, but maybe he'll thrive. I hope he does.
I think they said it's sort of like a temporary, it's like a Band-Aid thing. We'll see how it goes the rest of this year. And there's no contract. There's no, nothing down the road. But hey, listen, good for him. He's a lifer hockey guy for sure. Mm-hmm. Right? I want to start a new segment, the weekly hit list.
This can be good. Before we start this, I have to tell you, my dad finally watched our podcast.
Oh, no.
He did.
The floor is yours. I'm not going to say anything for the next 5 minutes. I need a review.
He was like, yeah, I watched that show you were on there, which I know what he means. And by the way, my dad's not 100, even though he acts and sounds like the way he talks sometimes. He has a flip phone. He has all these things. But he's like, watch that show you were on there with that guy. And I go, oh, our podcast. Yeah. And he's like, holy fuck, you guys swear a lot. He goes, fuck, it was good. Right from the top, you're just fucking this and fucking that. My dad loves that shit. He absolutely loves that shit. You should have heard him the other night. He was so wound up.
I am so happy right now.
Oh, the other night he goes, Jesus Christ, Sarina, I turn on the fucking TV. Fucking Calgary, Montreal are on. Who the fuck wants to watch that? He goes, I'm not fucking watching those. He used a lot of expletives that we've talked about not using that word on here.
Right.
And he's like, I fucking turned it to women's hockey. I'd rather watch that. But he'd actually rather watch Family Feud than Montreal. But he despises Calgary and Montreal probably almost equally, but he hates Calgary as much as I do. But he will not. He'd rather just not watch hockey than watch Calgary and Montreal.
Is there any chance your dad would adopt me?
Yeah.
I'm a little old, but I'm not very trainable, but
no, he is.
I give him a lot of laughter.
He is.
I'll give the old guy lots of chuckles, I promise.
He'll give you chuckles. So many people that meet my dad are like, your dad's fucking hilarious. I'm like, oh, it's because it's just the stuff he says is just so like raw. He grew up in a time where they would watch hockey and then Stampede Wrestling came on after hockey at night. And my family is all very similar. Even if we don't, the whole nature versus nurture thing, like we are all, the apple does not fall far from our family tree. Let's put it that way. Oh, he is absolutely hilarious.
So the hit list. And
he'll love this. That's why
I know you hate preparing. It's sort of against your religion to prepare for this. You prefer to wing it. But going forward, I would like you to come with one thing.
Oh, no, I will. I just don't.
I know. I'm surprised.
The two of us.
Right. Yeah, I'm surprising you with this, but it's just an idea where we get to really just sort of let one fly.
Yeah.
And you know where I'm going.
I kind of do, but this is why I like the element of surprise on here.
You know who Chris Kerber is?
Oh, the broadcaster for St. Louis.
The St. Louis radio guy.
By all means, Edward, take over.
So the Blues were in town, and it was a sparse crowd that night on press row, so we actually moved about 4 seats to our left, so we were more in the neutral zone. And the St. Louis play-by-play radio guy was above us, so we could hear him call the game. This fucktard. I don't want to go to the whole game. I just want to go to the sequence of the Mark Stone hit and the fight, because we're going to get to Mark Stone gets his own, segment later in the episode. But this guy starts out with, oh, this was a dirty hit, and he swept his legs, and he did that, and this and that and the other thing, and he's ranting on like a fucking Down syndrome retard baby, and he's wrong. He's patently wrong, and he's literally, 6 feet away from us? And a little bit higher up than us, unobstructed, right? We all see the ice unobstructed. I am just so disgusted with Homer radio guys. I grew up in Detroit. I listened to Bruce Martin, I listen now to Ken Cal and those guys. I watch the Red Wings when it's Mickey Redmond, and they call the game straight, right? That's all you want. This guy is responsible for the theater of the mind, radio. He's responsible for sharing with the St. Louis Blues radio audience what's on the ice. I was shaking. You saw how mad I was. Sarina's like, don't go up and punch him. You'll get thrown out of the press box. I just wanted to reach up and fucking slug him in the mouth because he's such a fucking turd. He should be doing, damn it, I was going to name your junior team and I completely lost it. Something Legionnaires. Red Deer, no.
One day you'll learn about hockey.
One day, Canada, whatever. But anyway, we had to listen to this insufferable asshole the whole game, and he's the hit list. He's my asshole of the week. Chris Kerber, thank you very much for inspiring me to come up with a new segment that we're going to do every single week for starting in 2026.
It was literally where it started. But for the record, as a former broadcaster, I will never talk shit about another one unless they're really bad at their job. It was obnoxious, though. I mean, he was like, we've seen Mark Stone with dirty hits on the Blues in the past. And I was like, oh, yeah, the goon that Mark Stone is. Like, and he's like, oh, he swept his feet out. I'm like, I literally turned to Eddie and I go, he finished the check. He finished the check. He took his man out of the play, finished the check. There was nothing wrong with it. It was, and it was Philip Broberg.
Right.
And young, great defenseman.
We don't want to see anybody hurt.
No.
Let's get that clear that we're not talking about criminal muggings and stuff like that.
No, this was, and immediately as soon as Broberg went, because Broberg was an Oiler, so I have a soft spot for him. And as soon as he went down, I was like, oh my God. You could see he was not getting up. And you could tell it was just he probably hit his head on the ice, whatever. And we're glad to see has nothing to do with Broberg.
Right.
Nothing to do with Stone. It was the most, I was like, Eddie, if I look up there, like, I don't want us to get kicked out of the press box. Because, like, it was really like Eddie, like, looked at this guy, like, slow turn, looked at me.
That's what it was. It was this exact.
Like, what? I was like, I'm not looking. Go, Eddie, I'm not looking. Because I don't want all of us to be like, what? And just create this, right? But it was bizarre. But again, it's radio. You have to call a different game when you have done radio and television hockey. Hockey, you can sit back on television and it's totally different. Radio is, you got to be. But
Doesn't he have a responsibility to the truth instead of trying to be sensational?
No, 100%. It was just the picking and choosing. Like, I mean, even if he would have followed it up and said, I don't think Stone meant to hurt him, but he was literally calling out Mark Stone for being dirty, and he didn't use the word slew foot, but it's essentially, I think, what he was trying to say. And I'm
Probably doesn't have that word in his dictionary.
Yeah, it was bizarre, but I get that that's your hit list.
I mean, I don't know. It was just ridiculous. And you know what, Chris? Be fucking better. That's all. Just be better, right? You owe it to the people who write your paycheck and the people who are forced to listen to you because they can't watch the game on television. So be better. You want to wish happy birthday to one of your former ex-husbands, love of your life hockey players?
Whose birthday?
Connor McDavid, 29 today.
Oh, my God. First of all.
Hey, wait a second. You just divorced the Oilers this summer.
Yeah, but he's not my former. Listen, to think that he's accomplished what he's accomplished.
Staggering.
And he's just winding up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, someone said, I think it might have been Louis DeBrusque, who does color for the Oilers. He's like, we think we've seen the best of Connor McDavid, but have we? Because he keeps coming out with something insane. As it right now, he's on a 19-game point streak. He's gotten 500 points in like 19 games. It's unbelievable.
It's bananas.
It's crazy. Yeah, he's my buddy Corey, who works for Calgary. He's obviously been in the league for a long time, and he's seen every player over the last 12, 15 years. And he's like, Connor McDavid is by far the best player I've ever seen in my entire life. Corey was drafted. He played at a high level. He's like, it's not even close. He goes, we were talking about Nate McKinnon being the second best player, and Nate McKinnon is a distant second. That's how good Connor McDavid is. So Calgary and Edmonton played around Christmas 2 games. And Corey asked one of their defensemen, he's like, what was it like being out on the ice with Connor McDavid? Like, he's like, I'm fucked. He's like, you literally, just when you think you know how you're going to play him, he's gone by you. He goes, you can't even, as a defenseman, you don't even know what to do out there because he's so fast and he's so good that you just have to wing it. When the other players are saying that, he's unbelievable.
So I've been watching and reading about something.
You can read?
It's closed captions with ear. You know, they tell it in my ears. You know, it's like audio books. You know, damn it, audio book.
Yeah.
Dougie Hamilton, $9 million defenseman. New Jersey Devils apparently don't want him anymore. They attempted to trade him in the offseason. San Jose, he's got a 10-team trade list. Only 10 teams he can be traded to, as opposed to, you know, the flip of that. They're healthy scratching him now. He's not a bad hockey player. He's a well above average NHL defenseman. He doesn't seem to fit in their plans. They lost out on the missing Hughes brother. I don't like the way that the team is making him like a pariah. He earned his 10-team trade list. They gave it to him in good faith. He earned his $9 million salary. He signed that contract in good faith. Now he doesn't fit into their plans, and they're trying to make him out like he's the villain for not just going away to anybody. My opinion is he should stand pat. He shouldn't have, if he has the right to decide where he wants to go, he earned that right. He should exercise that right. And you know what? I know they can't do it, but if New Jersey wanted to give him a couple $1 million to go to a team that maybe wasn't on his list, maybe they should do that. I don't like the way the organization is treating the player when 2 years ago or 3 years ago when he signed the deal, he was envisioned as the cornerstone defenseman on that club. Am I completely wrong about this? Is it just business is business and that's the way they treat people when they don't want them? Or do you think that Dougie Hamilton should sort of stand pat on his beliefs and only go to approve a deal that he really kind of wants to go to?
We had this conversation last year in Florida on the podcast. And it's like, it's a business, okay? Number one, hockey's a business. However, you can't expect players to be loyal to you if you're not going to be loyal to them. So you're going to show Dougie Hamilton some loyalty and then turn around and screw him over?
Right in the back.
Remember in the 83 or 84 when Wayne called the Devils a Mickey Mouse organization and he took a lot of shit for that? It's been 40 fucking years. You're still a joke. How could you treat a player like that? I just don't understand. You want these players to be loyal to your team and give everything to your team, and then you turn around and do that? I'm shockingly in complete agreement with you on this, but I'm also a huge fan of Dougie Hamilton. I would take him on my team. Somebody literally wrote, an Oilers fan was like, hey, Edmonton, wake the fuck up. Here's a good defenseman that needs a home. Let's get him. Instead of these overpaid jerk-offs we have turning the fucking puck over on our blue line. That's a whole episode. But,
so we're in agreement.
Yeah, like how 100%. Do you do that to a guy like Dougie Hamilton? Stupid.
It's just been getting a lot of air lately because
I'm telling you why. Because this fucking Hughes brother bullshit. They act like they're the first fucking brothers that have ever played in the NHL at the same time. Get in line, you little crybabies. First of all, one of them's cried 2 fucking times that I've heard of, crying because he got booed.
Name that Quinn.
Fuck, I don't even know. It's one of those.
I know that's why I asked you.
Dewan is all upset. I think what they're doing is they're making a point of they're trying to make room for when Quinn's done in Minnesota at the end of this year. They're trying to.
But it's not even the end of this year.
No, I know,
but I'm just saying.
I mean, like,
I do.
It's just jacked up.
I just think it's ridiculous. Like you said it more eloquently than I could ever think it. they ask you for your blood, sweat, tears, and your life. Move your family upright, do everything but get the crest tattooed on your tit. And then they turn around, and the first opportunity, the knife goes deep in your back.
And then they wonder why players are not, there's more money over here. Bye. They wonder why. Look at Steve Stamkos. And this was we beat the shit out of the Stamkos conversation last year. You know, Tampa didn't want to offer him whatever. So he didn't want to take a pay cut to stay in Tampa.
After 16 years.
Right. So he went to Nashville. Now, the argument is, again, if I'm going to argue both sides of this, I have to argue both sides of this. I feel like the team has every right to say, if you want to stay, you have to take a pay cut because we can't fit it into the budget. But he also has every right to say, no, correct. I don't want to take this money, whatever. It's a different situation than the Dougie Hamilton thing, but it's your loyalties after 16 years. Look at Jonathan Quick. LA just went, bye. You did all this shit for us, won a couple Stanley Cups, and yeah, we don't care. You're going to leave. And he bounced from here to the whatever. And it's like, you treat your goaltender like that after all that time? I was really appalled when LA just kind of fluffed off Jonathan Quick, and I don't even give a fuck about them. But to see it, like, it's just the whole, if you're going to, like, Stamkos at least had the right. So you can't fault Tampa for saying, well, we don't have it in the budget, but we'll give you this much, and you can't fault Stamkos. Here you can fault New Jersey for doing this. It's crazy to me. But again, this is why guys aren't loyal to their team.
Want to do something fun?
Sure.
Well, you don't have to. I'm just going to cut a promo real quick, and then we're going to go to commercial. We're going to give away some hockey tickets. What do you think of that?
Holy fuck, yeah.
Right?
Who doesn't want hockey tickets?
Who doesn't want hockey tickets? Good hockey tickets, too. We're going to have a contest where we're shamelessly going to exploit you and make you subscribe to the podcast and do other stuff. So here's the deal. You're going to win 2 tickets to a Vegas Golden Knights game after the Olympic break. Let me say that again for clarity. After the Olympic break. But there are conditions. This little contest is going to go every episode of this podcast until the Olympic break. So you're going to have multiple chances to win. How do you win, you say? You watch this podcast and you like it. And you comment tickets. So that's the 2 things. But the third thing is going to be a little bit harder because some of you are as technically savvy as I am. You're going to have to follow us on Instagram. The Instagram is Hockey Nights Vegas. If you can do those 3 things, like the podcast, comment tickets, and then go to Instagram and be a follower, and we'll follow everybody back or whatever you're supposed to do on Instagram, you'll get a ticket into the drawing. And if you watched the podcast last year with Chris Chapman and I, we had about 150 or 170 entries for the last one.
Hey.
So, give it a twirl. You can enter every episode. And there might be other things that you can attend. There might be a watch party coming up where you can get even more entries. But this is the first big ticket giveaway for Sarina and I. It's a game after the Olympic break. Like the podcast, click, comment, tickets, and then go to Instagram.com/Hockey Nights Vegas. I almost butchered that. Hockey Nights Vegas, and follow us. And then our new social media manager, Sarina Taylor, will follow you right back.
I already quit this job the other day.
That was yesterday.
Got rehired.
You're an indispensable part, so you're immediately rehired. What do you think? Pretty cool idea.
I love that. I mean, maybe we'll come say hi as well.
You want to throw in lunch before the game? There's a great Mexican restaurant we like right up the ring.
Yeah, we can. Bar. We'll get down to that because we got to figure out the game and stuff.
Right, but you're open to potentially meeting a fan.
They got to be open to meeting me.
That's a very good point.
I wouldn't blame. I'm not for everybody again.
Yeah. Both of us quite the acquired taste.
They're like, we're not hungry.
Hey, listen, that saves me $60-$70, so I'm not going to complain if they don't want to eat.
We'll get Dr. Pierce. Fuck it.
That's it. JJ, come on down. You won the contest, bro.
Our sponsor wins the What do you know?
Yeah, what do you know? You're just a random drawing. All right, speaking of our good friend, Dr. Pierce, let's hear from him. And that will be the intermission point of this circus with the stars. And we'll get back and talk Vegas Golden Knights hockey in just a minute. I'm here with Dr. John Pearson. And if you watch the podcast, you've seen information about all different kinds of treatments and procedures and things like that are done here at Ageless Forever. I'm going to tell you the real story of me. And you guys see commercials on television for Ozempic and Wegovy and all these other things. And they tell you can lose this much weight or that much weight and how much money it is and all that other happy horse shit. This is going to be about me and my relationship with my friend of over 30 years. 2 years ago and change, on January 1st of 23, I weighed 340 pounds and I didn't feel like there was much time left. I felt just horrible, and it's completely my fault. I disrespected everything about my being, but I decided that it was time to call my friend and talk about it and see, not if, I mean, yeah, if it could actually work, if I could get better, if I could continue to live and maybe live a good life. So I was basically 59 when I started at 340 pounds. I'm now 2 years and change into it. I'm walking around 235 pounds. I have never in my adult life felt better than I feel right now. And I owe this 1000%. There's no other factor involved in my wellness than the care of my good friend, Dr. Pierce.
What can I say besides thank you? I mean, those are powerful words.
I mean, tell them, I mean, be honest. Yeah. Tell them how bad it was when we started.
You know, was it bad? Yeah. You know, we had low testosterone. We had a lot of extra weight.
Cholesterol through the moon.
High cholesterol, blood pressure, immobility. You know, Eddie didn't, share with you, his, back issues and need for, surgical intervention there. But we attacked this, and I'll tell you, as we did, Eddie was a little, hesitant into, diving in head first. He put his toes in and tested the water, and then kept testing it. And we did a little bit more and a little bit more, but he stayed the course. And that's the key, is we just got a little bit better every day. And we used a GLP-1 medication with him. My goal is to use a lower than what's normally prescribed dose and try to titrate to effect. And the other way I'm doing it now, that we hadn't done with Eddie at the time, is I'm actually dosing it in microdoses throughout the week. So three injections a week at a much lower dose to keep a steadier state of the medication, so we don't get the nausea and the vomiting and the other GI upset issues. So we really reduce the risk for side effects and maintain appetite control. And then we had to work with our nutrition folks here to get Eddie to really believe in eating healthier. Because when I first talked to him he said, it's working well. I don't drink a whole 6-pack and eat 2 pizzas. I'm down to 2 Cokes and a half a pizza. And I said,
baby steps. It's all about baby steps, folks.
With Eddie, it's all still crap. So you're now absorbing more of it because it's going through the system slower. But now we've got him eating a lot healthier. And there's still work to be done. And that's with all of us. We all try to get better every day. He's following a good supplement regimen, good diet. He's beginning exercise, walking around with 110 pounds less makes life a lot easier. I remember we took a trip to New York, and we were walking to one of the games, and you slipped and fell on your knee.
Yep. On the grate.
On the grate. And I thought, oh man, because that, and you didn't get hurt, but we were on our way down with the weight. I think today it would have been we would have been just laughing about it.
Right. But in the beginning, it would have been tragic.
Disastrous. But I never forget it, because I was like, oh geez, that had to hurt. I'm sure it did because you end up going home, called it an early evening.
Yeah.
But you know, bottom line is, you know, we have a lot of services to offer with weight loss. We have it. We can use medication. We have nutrition consultants here. We have hormone replacement for both men and women. We do peptide therapy for the right reasons, using great, you know, good sources through U.S. pharmacies. So if there's things that you want to improve about with your health and wellness, please come in. Let's just sit down and talk and find out what it is you're looking to do. And I'll give you an honest answer of whether or not we can help your, you know, but in most cases, I believe we can.
I mean, it's simple. You know, this one's a little different than all the others. This is my truth and this is my story. And I'm going to spare you because I'm a kind, gentle soul sharing the before and after pictures because, yeah, you don't need to see that, especially if you just had a nice meal. But you owe it to yourself. And I'm proof that it works. So if you want to feel better about yourself, it doesn't cost you anything to have a conversation. I mean, is there anything better than free and knowledge when you put those two things together? Pick up the phone. When you get one of the girls on the phone, say, you heard about Ageless Forever on the Hockey Nights in Vegas podcast. They'll set you up with a consultation. You'll just sit and talk and you'll share. And Dr. Pierce will tell you what he thinks he can do. And again, the end of all these is the same. You owe it to yourself to be the best you. And this is the way that I chose to do it. And I might not be around to do this podcast if I didn't, take advantage of the opportunity and believe in it and commit to it slowly at first. But now it's a lifestyle thing for me. I'm carrying the weight. I still could use a little bit less, but I'm not gaining the weight back. All that stuff that you hear about, when you get off of it, you immediately blow back up. That's happy horse shit. If you take care of yourself, you'll maintain it. So do something good for yourself. Do something good for your significant other, for your kids. All it takes is a phone call and a sit down. So that's what I highly recommend. If you have any questions, you want to talk to me about it, shoot me a message. Everybody knows how to find me. So if you're ready to take the first step, pick up the phone, call 702-838-1994. Any of the girls can take care of you. Your first appointment is on the podcast. Just mention to them that you're a fan of the Hockey Nights in Vegas podcast. Do something good for yourself. Pick up that phone, make the call. You'll thank me later. I know that. And we're back. Let's talk Vegas Golden Knights. You want to talk about the Mark Stone fight in the context of Mark Stone as a leader? Or do you want to just get into the business of the Golden Knights?
Oh, we got to talk about the fight, man. Two captains fight. We have to talk about that. We have to.
The Great One even put out a statement about the heart of Mark Stone and the fact that he didn't back down.
After the fight?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Mark Stone's not a fighter. Braden Shen is a bit of a fighter. We were able to watch during the whole TV timeout. They were at the ends of each other's benches chirping around Shane Knighty. So you could tell they were getting ready to...
After the slew foot.
After the alleged
jackass
murder. Chris Kerber. Yeah.
After the attempted murder.
Yeah. That is the absolute definition of a leader, of a warrior. If you were to ask Bill Foley what the definition of a warrior is, right? He said, never retreat. Mark Stone maybe didn't have to. Jeremy Lauzon's there. Keegan Kolesar's. There are guys who are better fighters on the roster. But you know what? Mark Stone accepted the invitation. He followed the code. That code that we've talked about so many other times in the episode. He didn't win the fight. He wasn't hurt, got a jersey torn. Who cares? But I want to talk about Mark Stone exemplifying the definition of a captain of an NHL hockey team.
Right after that happened, they were yapping and chirping back and forth. And I was like, Eddie, we need a good fucking captain fight here. And we started having the conversation about how I used to love when Jerome McGinley would drop the gloves. Jerome McGinley and that fucker could chalk. He was, he's an absolute fucking nail gun if provoked. He's so tough. And one of the best captain fights I ever saw was in junior, where John and Moose Jaw literally hate each other worse than any NHL team. Like even Edmonton and Calgary's bad. They had a good captain fight. Derek England fought Garth Murray, who was the captain of the Pats. Those two fucking went toe to toe in a fight like I've never seen. And I'm like, that's how you captain a hockey team. Yeah, that's junior hockey. It's a little different. Mark Stone, I literally said we need a captain fight. And as soon as they went to go, I was like, okay. And when it was done, I turned to Eddie, I go, and now it's done. Now it's done. You know, there was a conversation because Braden Shen is not going to randomly go, okay, who wants to fight me and hope it's Jeremy Lauzon, or vice versa, right? Mark Stone's not going to fight whoever, neighbors or anybody. It was like, okay, I'm going to answer the bell. And Shen's like, you're going to fucking, I'm coming calling. We fight and it's over. This is what's gone from the game now.
This is exactly the same as Ryan Reeves and Olivier with Columbus.
Yep.
And the videos that they put out last week where it was the most incredible, transparent back of house scene of NHL that I've seen in maybe decades. Ryan Reeves said, hey, he came a-calling and he asked, and I said yes. And, you know, if I would have said no, if I needed to come calling the next game, he's got every reason to say no. And you have arguably two of the 3 or 4 toughest guys in the NHL. You got to put Jack Eye in there and maybe a couple others. Both of them videos were posted talking about the honor and the code of accepting a fight. And this is, though Stone and Shen are not those sort of gladiator types, same thing. Yes, the game was a little bit heated after that. Little Mr. Neighbors was trying to get, start some stuff. And
Lauzon was pretty wound up, too.
And we both kind of thought that might have been a 3-bout card that night.
Yeah, you could sense it.
You could kind of feel there was a little bit of, tension in the building. But I have enormous respect for Mark Stone. I have even more than enormous respect because he is not a fighter. And contrary to what that jack-off Chris Kerber said, he's not a dirty hockey player. No one's ever accused him of any sort of that bullshit. So kudos to Mark Stone for saying, I don't care that it was a good hit. If you want to go to the dance, we're going to go to the dance, and that's going to be the end of it. Will there be bad blood against St. Louis later? Who the fuck knows? But it won't have anything to do with this. Nobody carried a receipt forward from this game. And that's the most important takeaway.
I mean, and just to go on top of that, I have respect for Braden Shen for saying, I'm the captain. Whether or not I feel this was a dirty hit, I'm going to pull this receipt. We're going to be done. The coaches knew exactly what they were doing, letting them out there at the same time.
Of course they did.
It goes all the way, and now, hey, everybody, we're done. Stone goes and gets a new jersey because he was kind of ripped there. It's fine. Everybody's fine. Nobody's upset. He did get drilled, but this is what the league is trying to not have happen, right? Is this shit. Why not? You gotta leave your helmets on. Okay, fuck, I'm not having this one anymore. But Stone's helmet came off, which is, I think, part of why you're automatically at a disadvantage if your helmet pops off, because you're not going to punch a guy's helmet, right?
And guys never wear their chin straps tight anymore.
Right. So his helmet came off. He's not going to fight, whatever. He got drilled a couple times, went down, Shen walked away. We're done. We're done. Nobody's angry. Everybody's fine. But I mean, I've been saying, the whole season about what a captain Mark Stone is. He's just a fucking captain. And he's just a great captain. And I don't know, Vegas is super lucky to have him.
So when we last spoke, the Golden Knights were sort of playing like an unwiped ass. They were on a pretty bad roll. 4 wins in a row. They are now 21-15 in that obnoxious 12 on the end. First place in the Pacific, 4th in the Western Conference, 9th overall in the NHL, but on a bit of a roll. As much as they've been winning, they're playing a lot better. How's everything in VGK land for you? because we got to be, we have to be in the moment, and we have to have recency bias because we do an episode every week. But in the last 4 games, how are things in VGK land in your eyes?
I think that every time a game starts, I'm like, please don't let somebody get fucking hurt tonight. It's just always like, okay, what's going to happen tonight? Can you imagine Bruce Cassidy every single day of his life is like, well, now what am I going to do? There's been a couple of changes. Shea Theodore coming back was huge. Yeah, he sniped a couple.
He's on the notes for a chat about how he's influenced.
Yeah, big difference having him come back. Obviously, with Carter getting hurt, that's not an ideal situation. Howden got moved back to the wing from center. That does make a little bit of a difference as well.
And then got hurt again.
Yeah, and I think Bruce just he's been making slight changes here and there, but nothing drastic.
Oh, no. Hold on. You missed the biggest one. Mitch to the middle.
Oh, no, but that's been happening for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just talking about the past few games.
Right.
Mitch has been playing center for
5 or 6.
Yeah. So just kind of recently, basically since Hart got hurt, that's when we've seen kind of some of this stuff. So, I think that they're playing better as a team. I feel like Eichel getting on the scoreboard helps. I feel like Mark Stone dropping the gloves helps. I feel that Marner being able to play multiple positions. I mean, he was unbelievable the other night.
He was everywhere.
He's fucking unbelievable.
Everywhere. I think it was the best game he's had as a Golden Knight.
Yeah, and it was like, Hurdle got 5 points the other night. Hurdle's been good.
What's motivated that, right?
Tell me.
Do you really want me to tell you?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So, but all of these guys are going, wait a second here. The first half of the season is over. We lost our starting goaltender for the second time this year. We've lost defensemen. We've lost this. We got to make the best of this and get it going. But it's been so hard for them because you can practice till the cows come home, and it is really tricky when your lines are changing a bit. But like I said, they're professionals. They've all played different positions. They've all played with other guys. I just think there's a little bit of a spark that we haven't seen. I feel like out of the first 40 games, maybe flat is probably the best word I would use. They are not god awful, but there were some times where they were flat and no spark.
Inconsistent.
Yeah, and I feel like that's changed.
I think galvanized is the word that comes to mind. And I did the pregame show with Ryan Wallace, and he asked me, and we were in agreement. They went down 2-0 in Winnipeg, and Mark Stone took a puck off the ear from Ben, Bobby, or Hutton, an accidental, obviously. He scored the goal that made it 2-1, but instead of expressive Mark Stone, he just had a look on his face where he was just fucking pissed. And from that instant on, something seems to have switched with them. With all the changes, with all the stirring of the pot and all the unknowns of who's going to be in the lineup, and this injury and that injury, the last 4 or 5 games, they seem to have found a way. And Mitch has never played center. Mitch acknowledged, hey, I got a lot of work to do in the dot. Well, yeah, because NHL center has been playing centers since they were squirts or under 10s or whatever you guys call them. So, yeah, but he has been quietly, I think is probably the right word, right? Unsensationally sensational. They've got those trackers in the back of their jerseys that determine how fast they go and how far they go and all this statistics thing. Mitch has been everywhere. I saw Mitch behind the defending net 4 or 5 times, right? He's everywhere. And he doesn't light it up in a way that McKinnon lights it up, or McDavid or Draisaitl or Pasta, or, those kind of guys. But if you take the sensational element out of it, Mitch is unbelievable. And anybody who has shit to say, they're 44 games in, I think he's got 49 points. He's still with a brand new team. He's got 800, 900 some games of regular season that he's going to play with the Golden Knights. I am surprised that he's adapted so quickly. I think that I'm not surprised he's going to be good at it. He has the capability of being good at anything. I mean, he's been a Selke nominee as a forward. But he has been brilliant. And you're exactly spot on. Jack was rusty when he came back. But now Jack has started to find the mojo. So now you can separate Jack and Mitch, and you got 2 lines going. Then you've got Tomas Hertl. Now you got 3 lines going. The 4th line, we still don't really know what we have because we're not sure who's going to be there every night. But if you got 3 lines going and you bring back a Shea Theodore, who brings a little bit of normalcy to the D while they're missing McNabb for the first time in his career, Ben Bobby Orr Hutton's the biggest surprise, right? Leading the team in defensive scoring. It allows the defensive core to be a little bit better slotted so they can do more of what they excel at, right? Noah Hannafin's a great defender and a great skater. That's why he's on the U.S. Olympic team. I just feel like something happened after that goal in Winnipeg where they're like, all right, enough of this shit. We got to go, and we're going to go.
Well, I think a lot of it is we can't lose to fucking Winnipeg.
That too.
What we talked about how many points they were going to get, and I predicted 3 of 6, and that's what they got on that road. But you could see it shift. Chicago is like, holy fuck, we got out of here with and
that was a dry game.
And then going into Winnipeg, they were down. It's like, this is where we got to get our shit together. And I don't know what kind of, conversation happened in the first intermission there, or second intermission for that matter. But I guarantee that, Mark Stone had something to do with it. But also, too, we're talking about a guy like Mitch Marner where the uneducated eye would not appreciate his talent. He's like Wayne, and it's not the same. God forbid, no way. But that's the way he plays. He just is. Mitch sees that fucking game like nobody else on the ice. Mitch sees, like, even Bruce Cassidy said, sometimes I watch Mitch and he's like, how did he see that? Bruce is like, I'm not even on the ice and I didn't see that. He plays just like Wayne. He goes where he's supposed to be because he knows where he's supposed to be. A lot of guys don't have that talent.
Busy weeks coming up. They're 55% of the way through the season. That number is going to go way up because we got 3 weeks off coming in February. So January and March are
hectic
train wrecks. Yeah, they just finished a back-to-back. Now they have a backwards back-to-back. They practiced today, flew out Kings tomorrow in LA, and then back here Thursday for the first Mitch Marner Bowl against Toronto. Then it's the Preds in Philadelphia at home. So let's talk about the week coming up. LA's scuffling a bit, right? I don't know how to describe them. They're the most boring team to watch on television. And they're struggling to maintain. The games with the Kings are usually really competitive. There's not a lot of blowouts, and they're a little bit spicy. Any of those games jump out to you? Toronto, everybody's making a big deal about it. Like all the guys from the NHL Network are talking about coming out here and they're doing their podcast from the Win and doing all that other stuff.
Because there's nothing else to fucking talk about.
It's not this game against Toronto that means anything. It's the game next week in Toronto that means something to the Toronto fan base. You would agree with that?
Yeah, I guess.
You think the VGK fan base gives one shit about the game against Toronto and one shit more?
I'm going to tell you something right now. The VGK fan base is going to get out-fanned on Thursday because I guarantee there will be a ton of Leafs fans in attendance at that game.
Well, yeah, season ticket holders get a chance to score. They can sell their tickets for basically anything they want.
So, right. So hence they don't care, but I think, I'm glad for Mitch that it's going to be here the first game to kind of get a little nerves out of the way and whatever.
You can see the guys in the tunnel after and he can say hello and, the stuff that nobody knows goes on that we know goes on.
I hope he lights him up for at least three. But
it doesn't have to be a hattie. Just 3 points. Just 3 points.
Yeah, he's not going to get 3 goals.
1-2 is fine.
Yeah, we'll take.
I'll take 0-3. Yeah. 1-2 is fine. 2-1 even better.
The Leafs are so hit and miss, as we all know. And like talking about the Kings, that's just the way the Kings are built. They're not an exciting team. They haven't been for decades, but that's not the way they're built. They always hang in there. Like you said, there's never any blowouts. It's the way they're built. They're like a horse. They're built for strength, not speed. You know what I'm saying?
They're a plow horse, not a race horse.
Yeah, exactly. They have their purpose. And, I think they're kind of trying to figure out what they want to do because, you look at a guy like Drew Doughty. He's going to be coming to the end of his career. They're not going to deal him like they did Jonathan Quick. I wouldn't think. They didn't do it to Dustin Brown. They haven't done it to a lot of guys. So I think they're kind of just sitting there going, all right, let's just kind of figure out, what's going on. But talking about the Toronto thing, jumping back to that, I watched a really good interview with Ryan Getzlaf today and talking about players playing in Toronto. And Ryan has said privately that because Ryan played his whole career in Anaheim, the one thing he wished he could have done was played on a Canadian team. But the conversation, the question that was posed to him is about guys wanting to play in Toronto. And he's like, you have to understand something. It's a completely different animal. Every game, every practice, everything you do, you have 15 to 20 media people, TSN, Sportsnet, all the major in your face. Every game, every practice. He's like, I was fortunate in Anaheim. I didn't have to deal with that, but it's different in Toronto and the taxes and all that kind of stuff, right? And it's different living in Toronto and being a Maple Leaf and doing all of these things. And so for Mitch, it's the opposite. He comes here. He's got a monkey off his back. Nobody gives a fuck. They're just buying his jersey. He's not even here yet, and they're buying his jersey. There's no criticism. It's completely different.
Well, you're a baseball fan. It's probably not dissimilar if you played for the New York Yankees. It's a fishbowl.
Yeah.
And it's the same. It's the same for the Habs.
Yeah. Well, right. Montreal's a different, another level.
It's another level of bananas.
Montreal, they just have a lot more respect. Like you wouldn't dare question the team in Quebec, or in Montreal, that you do in Toronto. It's like a rite of passage to bitch about the coach and to bitch about this. And I think it goes back to the Harold Ballard days where he's a fucking lunatic. And everybody just, Harold Ballard popped off. Montreal has a lot more self-respect and respect from the fans.
So the Preds somehow are only 5 points out of a wild card right now. And Philadelphia is right in the midst, right in the mix. The East is real mushy.
East is a fucking joke.
For the most part, it is. There's still a couple of good. Carolina's a good club.
Always,
right?
Always.
They
make some noise. I've been waiting. It's been a few years. I'm like, don't ever count out Carolina. And I always say that about Colorado too. And fuck those guys, man. See their overtime with the Leafs. Our friend Rick Rowley was just did you see he was working his nicotine gum, right? He said he was having a stroke. And he probably was.
If you guys don't know who Rick Rowley is, Rick Rowley 3 on Instagram. I promise you, once you learn the language, because it's Canadian English.
It's so funny because this is a funny story because everybody's all wound up about watching Shoresy, right? Anybody who watches Shoresy. So people down here are all like, oh, I love Shoresy. I love Shoresy. I'm like, you don't even understand half the fucking jokes because the stuff that they say is so Canadian. And I was watching it again the other night, season 1, and I was just dying. But it's the same stuff. It's like, you got to understand what they're saying. But yeah, Rick, just give him a second because you might not understand everything.
Just give him a twirl.
Yeah.
So 4 games this week, basically. How many points? 8 possible. I'm going with 5.
L.A., Nashville.
L.A., Philly,
Toronto. L.A., Toronto, Nashville, Philly.
3 home. The Kings is the only road game tomorrow night. 5 is good for me.
4.
4?
Yep.
Who are they losing to?
It's going to be a shocker. Somebody like freaking Nashville or some shit. Yeah. Because you've got to pick 2 losses. Who are you going to pick? Yeah, I don't know. It was Philly. Toronto might beat them. I don't know. LA. It's always I don't know.
That game last night, and I hate both teams, Colorado and Toronto. But I have to tell you, it was one of the more entertaining hockey games. Literally, I didn't watch one down of the football game.
Yeah,
I was like,
when they go, they go.
Yeah, this was must see hockey TV for hockey fans.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about hockey anymore. You want to talk about a really cool watch party we're doing on February 1st?
Let her fly.
Okay. We're doing a watch party. Sarina and I are hosting at the Space. We don't know if the king of the Space, Mark Chinook's going to be there, but he's getting behind it and promoting it. There's going to be raffles. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be a food truck. There's going to be a bar. It's an all-ages shenanigan. That's what we're going to call it. February the 1st. I can't remember what day it is. I think it's a Sunday. Feels like it's a Sunday. The doors will open an hour before the game. Come down. We're going to put the graphic up and give you the links and everything to follow. And we're going to do it's going to be what did old JR call it on wrestling? A slobber knocker.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a slobber knocker
watch party.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get after it. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna give away some really cool prizes. Hopefully Mark Chinook will be in town and be able to attend. We did a really cool Q&A with him at our last watch party. Let's finish up with the ticket giveaway. You want to do the plug for the ticket giveaway? You want to see if I can do it again? You can do it. This is all the details.
This is my first putting eyes on this.
It's a read.
Let's give away some.
Okay,
tickets.
That's over. Way to play the special needs child.
2 tickets, giving them away. I can just do it off the rip. I'm a broadcaster.
Do it.
We got 2 tickets we're going to be giving away to a game after the Olympics. But you need to follow our podcast on YouTube. You need to follow us on Instagram, and you need to comment tickets. Go like, go follow, go do all the things. We will decide who we give the tickets to. We don't have a game yet, but we're going to figure it out. Did I miss anything?
Nope, you pretty well hit it on the
Boom.
head. So
let's fucking go.
That's it. Thanks to my good friend, Dr. John Pierce at Ageless Forever. Thanks to Mateus at Outbox Media. Contact at outboxmedia.com if you want your podcast to look and sound as good as it possibly can. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, all that other stuff. HockeyNightsVegas.com. That's the Linktree thingy. You can find the podcast, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, any place that you get your podcast. You can follow us there. I'm exhausted, so that's the end of today's episode. We'll see you next week.